I think even when I entered office, it felt like a little more, you kind of knew what the battle lines were. And look, the tech, Ron Conway, all these folks for years were trying to win office. The Yimbys were trying to win off. They lost left and right. Like their candidates got clobbered, and the only way they could get like into any position of power in San Francisco was getting appointed. So like Sonia Traus, the founder of the YIMBY movement, ran for office, got clobbered. Like voters didn't want it. And, she had to get appointed to something, right? So what finally, I think they planted a lot of seeds, developed these astroturf networks, got a lot of funding, but they also had to shift their messaging, because to win in San Francisco, you had to be perceived as being somewhat progressive for the most part, except for the mayor's office, where, that's often less the case, right? But in district races where people get to know their supervisors, that's the case. And so you do have these very strange things. I mean, I would say they're increasingly shameless about the disinformation and the smears, and this stuff works, right? It's like, so there's a strategy for really cynical folks, is that you kind of attack and smear the thing that is strong about your opponent, right? And that's kind of, it's like dating myself, but like years and years ago, it was like the John Kerry, so the opponents of John Kerry did the Swift Vote Veterans for Truth. Well, why did they do that? Because John Kerry was a war veteran, and they thought that would resonate with people. So they created this entire fake thing to smear his service, because they thought that was his strength. And, so when you see like their attacks on me in this most recent election, what do they come at? They come at like my housing record, which is kind of insane. Like if you look at what I've done the last 25 years, that would be far and away the thing I've had the most positive impact on, is fighting for affordable housing funding, fighting against evictions, and, fighting for rent control. So it's like, that's the stuff they come at you on. And, I think they've shown sometimes it can work, not always. But sometimes it can work, and it doesn't hurt if you have, the Chronicle and the billionaire-owned San Francisco Standard echoing all these points all the time.
Yeah.